Panthers will get the football. We check in along the sideline with the pride of Glenbrook North High School, Miss Laura Oakman.
Hometown shout out. Love it. Thanks, Tom. Last year, Cam Newton accounted for just about a third of Carolina's rushing offense. This year, off that ankle injury, he has just 33 yards in 3 games. The Panthers are hoping today to see a lot more of the old Cam with a game plan featuring more zone reads, read options, and plays where Cam will run and everyone else will block. Said offensive coordinator Mike Shula, there is no leash on him. Tom?
All right, Laura, thank you very much. The Bears won the toss, deferred to getting the football in the second half. So this one underway, and this will be Philly Brown. He'll take a knee in the end zone, and here comes the aforementioned Cam Newton, the #1 pick overall in the NFL draft in 2011. Still recovering from off-season left ankle surgery. But look what he has done his first 3 years in the NFL, whether it's throwing or running. 92 total touchdowns. Only Dan Marino better through 3 years than Cam Newton in that category. Mentioned a moment ago the running back situation for Carolina. Saw Darren Reeves, a rookie, an undrafted rookie out of Alabama Birmingham. They fake it to him, and Newton looking down the field, and it is caught by Jericho Cotchery. And that is a first down, a gain of 15. But let's look at the running back situation. No Williams, no Stewart, no Tolbert.
If you look at this, all 3 running backs out, and that was something coming in that they thought was the strength of this Carolina offense. We're looking at 3 guys right here, which 2 of them have not had a carry in a Panthers uniform. So these guys are going to have to come up big to take some pressure off of Cam Newton today.
Reeves had 10 rushes, 26 yards against Baltimore. After the injuries continue to pile up a week and a half ago. Blitz coming, they pick it up. And it's incomplete. Jennings step for step with Cotchery, second down and 10. Panthers lost 3 wide receivers, including the best in the franchise's history in Steve Smith during the offseason. Brandon LaFell went on to New England. Ted Ginn Jr. now in Arizona. They brought in Cotchery. They brought in another veteran in Jason Avant to go with their #1 pick, Kelvin Benjamin. The NFL's Offensive Rookie of the Month in September. Reeves for 3. It'll bring up third down and 7.
This is a situation that Cam Newton and this offense talked about earlier, keeping themselves in those 3rd and short situations because this aggressive defense, and Mel Tucker, this coordinator for the Bears, these 3rd and long situations, 7+, this is when he wants to be aggressive, and look out because this is when he's going to blitz.
Well, they spotted it only a gain of 2, so it is third down and 8. Four-man rush. Newton gets it away. And incomplete. That looked like a catch that could have been made by Jason Avant, a Chicago native from Carver High School. Let's take a look. This would have been enough for a first down.
See how close this catch is. There it is. That's one that he knows that he's going to go back and watch this film, and he's going to be disappointed that he didn't catch that ball and keep that drive going.
Santonio Holmes picked up very late during the preseason. Waits on the punt that is nearly blocked. No flag. And Holmes from the 7-yard line will return it. Got a block, got another block. Santonio Holmes, and now a flag. He loses the ball out of bounds. Flag is thrown all the way back at the 15-yard line. Good return there by Santonio Holmes. But is it coming back? It's like Cam Newton may have cut his right elbow. They're addressing that over on the sideline as we wait on Tony Correnti, our referee today.
Personal foul, blindside block, receiving team, number 53. Penalty assessed half distance to the goal, first down.
So that'll wipe out the big return. See if we can pick up what happened. Newton hit as he threw. We'll be back.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Without a heart, it's just a machine.
First down, first possession for Jay Cutler and the Chicago Bears. A penalty wipes out what would have been a starting field position at the 34. They give it to Matt Forte, and he's bottled up maybe for a 1-yard loss by big Colin Cole. Jay Cutler virtually owns every Bears passing record through his first 5 years, and another through the first 4 games of this season. 10 touchdowns, although he has thrown 4 interceptions, and all 4 have come in the 2 Bear losses, which strangely enough, both of their losses have come at Soldier Field. Both of their wins have come on the road. Forte again. And again, nowhere to go. Let's check in on Cam Newton's condition with Laura Oakman.
Looks good right now, already with that bad ankle we talked about and the rib injury. Trainers just addressed that right elbow of his, put a bandage on it, a sleeve over that. He was over there throwing with the Panthers head trainer. Looked like he got a thumbs up, and he's back over right now looking over the pictures.
All right, Laura, thank you. 3rd down and 9.
As a defense here, be alert for the screen or draw.
Inside handoff to Forte, and it looks like he'll be about a yard and a half short of a first down. We will wait officially on the spot. The pile began moving forward, but they spot it short, and it's 3 and out for Chicago.
You know, Carolina's happy with this start, getting the Chicago Bears backed up after that penalty. This is the way that they wanted to start. They want to start fast. They want to be able to be aggressive, but they do not want to let Matt Forte get going because they know what that does for this Bears offense.
Forte had a monster game last week against Green Bay when Chicago ran for 235 yards. Big punt by Patrick O'Donnell. And Philly Brown hit, and that'll be a 15-yard penalty. Ball is picked up, and streaking down the sideline is Philly Brown, and it is a touchdown. Now there are flags on the play, but it was a live ball.
They always say play the play through the whistle. The whistle wasn't blown. The ball was still on the ground. That's a very smart play by Philly Brown to pick that up and continue to go.
Williams just signed by the Bears. Comes flying down the field. Hit Brown before he ever had a chance to catch the ball.
Interference with the opportunity to catch the kick. Kicking team number 24. This penalty will be assessed on the kickoff. The touchdown is good.
So you get it a couple of ways in. The former Ohio State Buckeye, Philly Brown, alertly stays with it. Look at it. Finds the ball, and he's off to the races. 79 yards. And the Panthers take a 6-0 lead, and now they will wait on the point after by Graham Gano.
Well, each one of these scores always goes back now, all under review, so that's what the officials are talking about right now.
We'll take a break as they take a look.
Today's game is sponsored by Bud Light, who reminds fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly.
Well, they're making sure, as they do on every scoring play and every change of possession.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. It is a touchdown. The penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
So we will straight on the point after. Contact made by Teddy Williams on Philly Brown. Probably taking a look to see if somebody actually had possession at the bottom of that pile, which they did not.
No, that ball was clearly still rolling around in that scrum of people. Smart play by Philly Brown to just continue and know that there wasn't a whistle and score that touchdown.
And now the point after is good by Graham Gano. It has been a while since a Panther has returned a punt for a touchdown. 164 games. How about that? Steve Smith all the way back to 2003 when David Deal was a rookie for the Giants.
I was actually just going to say I remember, unfortunately, at the end of the year, that return as well.
Let's check in back with Mike Pereira in Los Angeles. Mike, what do you think they were looking to see if anybody recovered the initial ball on the ground?
I actually think this was a good stop because Thomas Taku almost has possession of the ball on the ground and might have been down by contact right there with the ball in his elbow there. It then pops out. That's not long enough to be considered possession of a loose ball. But that was probably a pretty good stop. And then once you saw it wasn't long enough, then confirm it, move on.
So, Mike, when do you get confused about the NFL rules and the college rules? I just saw you on TV last night.
I'm still trying to forget about what I did yesterday. I have a hard time with this now. Just don't even bring it up, please.
You're the man, Mike. You're the man. We love having you with us each and every weekend. So the penalty, of course, enforced on the kickoff. And that ball hammered through the back of the end zone. Second possession for Cutler and the Bears. Like to remind you, tomorrow, the Major League Baseball postseason. Wow, what a postseason so far. It's on Fox Sports 1 tomorrow. They go to Busch Stadium. Game 3 of the National League Division Series. A 1-1 series so far. NLDS game 3/9 Eastern on Fox Sports 1, streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Cutler and the Bears went 3 and out their first possession, and they'll throw it on first down here. Forte, and the man, who else would it be besides the reigning Defensive Player of the Year in the NFL, Luke Kuechly. Offensive line of the Bears, a big story today, David.
And it should be a big story. Last year, this was a group that started the entire season together to have that continuity. Now with Michael Ola, now at left tackle, we're going to have to really watch this Bears offensive line to make sure, like we said earlier, to get the run game going, keep themselves out of third and long situations against this aggressive defense for Carolina.
Gain of 3, second down and 7. Swinging out once more to Forte. And run out of bounds. And let's send it back to Los Angeles, our first game break, and check in with Kurt Menefee.
All right, all touchdowns in the league so far, special teams in your game and in Philadelphia. So Chris Marigo scoops up the block punt, takes it in for a 10-yard score. Eagles with a special team touchdown for their record, team record, third straight game. Tom and David.
All right, Kurt, thank you very much. Here we go. Another third down for the Bears. Third down and 3.
Showing blitz with these two linebackers mugged up over the center here.
It's Davis and Kuechly. And Kuechly's coming. Bears pick it up. Throw down the sideline, and what a catch made by Alshon Jeffrey. Man, when Jeffrey and Marshall are healthy, is there a better receiving duo in the NFL?
I don't think that there is. Look at just the size advantage right there, running to the sidelines, being able for Cutler to get that ball over the shoulder to where only Jeffrey could catch it.
Pass interference, defense number 27, grabbing the inside arm of the receiver. The penalty is declined. Result of the play, first down.
Down here at the bottom of the screen, we're going to see Jeffrey. He's going to break it off, get that outside. You can see the hold, the hands. They said 5 yards. They're going to throw that every single time. Look at that hand and eye coordination. It's a nice start for Cutler and Jeffrey right now.
Here went right after Josh Norman, who is starting in place of Melvin White this week. Penalty flag down. And slipping to the 40-yard line, but we wait on the penalty. A gain of 3 by Forte.
Offside. Defense number 96 in the neutral zone at the snap. 5-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
Well, certainly there is a decided height advantage for the two big Bears receivers against the cornerbacks today for the Panthers.
And that's something that the Panthers defense talked about. For this division, they built this defense around their cornerbacks to make sure that they were tall, rangy. So this actually plays into Carolina's favor, that they're used to going up against these 6'4", 6'5" guys.
First and 5, and Forte cuts it back to the inside. Bounces to the outside, and that's a first down to the 29-yard line.
Going to see a double team here by the right guard and the right tackle, Mills. They hope that they can get quicker up to that second level, but look at Forte, able to make that first man miss. His elusiveness, his ability to be patient in holes, that's the strength to Matt Forte.
Kadeem Carey, the rookie out of Arizona. Checks into the backfield, and they give him the ball. And he is wrapped up and tackled by Norman. Carey had 2 carries in the first 3 games of the year, 14 of them, 9 on the final drive after the game had pretty much been wrapped up by Green Bay last week. But this Forte is some kind of back. Very good success against Carolina when he's faced him. Of course, he's had great success against virtually everybody he goes up against. 7th year out of Tulane. Blitz coming. Boy, Kuechly just ran through Carey, and it gave his other defensive teammates time to get to the quarterback. First one there was Davis, had help from Wes Horton.
This was a design blitz. They see Martellus Bennett came across this offense to the other side. So Luke Kuechly here is going to come free, lays the hit, allows that to open up everything. Horton coming off of the edge, seeing Cutler step up. That's what they need to do on this defensive side of the ball to continue that pressure on Jay Cutler.
And that's something neither one of these teams have done very well, and that is put pressure on the quarterback. 3rd down and 12. They need to get to the 19. Blitz coming again off the corner. Cutler gets it away, and it is intercepted. Tipped ball and picked off by Roman Harper, and he still has the football. Flags down. And dropped right at midfield. Now the Bears are already pointing here at Carolina. That flag was thrown into secondary.
During the return, holding, receiving team number 59. This penalty be assessed half the distance to the goal. First down.
So the holding took place after the interception. Hit Davis in the back of the head, right into the arms of Roman Harper.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Chevrolet. Find new roads. By Pizza Hut's Bacon and Cheese Stuffed Crust. And by Target. Expect more, pay less.
The road to Charlotte, North Carolina, the center of the known world. As they say here in town, Jay Cutler, we've talked about which guy shows up. When he throws fewer than 2 interceptions, I mean, those numbers, winning and losing, as good as anybody in the NFL. He throws 2 or more as he did last week. And you see the numbers for the Bears. Tony Correnti just letting everybody know about the penalty that occurred during the interception, which we told you going to break. So now Cam Newton, the last time we saw him, it's been a while. He injured his elbow. Looked like he just cut his elbow. And so they taped it up, cleaned it up, put the sleeve back over the right elbow, and he's back in there. It's really impossible to tell exactly how the elbow is cut on that hit, his last throw. Nowhere to go for Darren Reeves, and here's the hit on 3rd down.
Cam Newton stepping up in the pocket. You really see this Bears defense funneling in to make sure that they keep him contained. But we can't have that. Cam Newton getting those hits as a Carolina offense, and as a fan watching this game, those are the hits that you can't see your quarterback take, especially if you're going to run the zone read with him in this game.
You see the rushing attempts, 8 of them. He's been sacked 9 times, and Laura talked about it earlier. As Newton throws to the one-time Bear, former #1 pick Greg Olsen, but Carolina has run the football so well for so long. But you think about Newton accounting for 33% of their rushing numbers since he's become a Carolina Panther. 1/3 of their rushing yards. This year he has 1% of their rushing yards.
Well, everybody talked about coming off of the ankle surgery and the injury, that things were going to be slow to start. But don't let that fool you. Cam Newton may act like he has an injury, but next thing you know, he's turning one down the sidelines for a 50-yard gain.
Chris Obanaya, former Cleveland Brown, just signed this week, checks into the backfield. And that is the rookie Benjamin. Looked like he had it jarred loose. Caught it, came down. Did he fumble it? Or are they saying he is down? We wait. This could be a big call. Bears are pointing it belongs to them.
The ball was completed to Carolina and fumbled. 1st down, Chicago.
There's your answer.
It looks like Fry is the one who rips it out after Conte made the hit. Let's see Calvin Johnson. I'm sorry, my mistake. Kelvin Benjamin right here. Run the route, sees it, sits in the pocket, possesses it, and there's a strip right there by Fry. Let's see.
Crowd screaming after seeing the replay on the big board inside the stadium.
The previous play will go under review.
And due to a turnover, you don't have to challenge. It's an automatic review.
That's a fumble.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field will stand as a fumble. Recovery by Chicago. 1st down.
So there you have it.
Catch. Gets possession of the ball right there, going down. Fry with the lawnmower strip. But they were trying to see if those knees were down, which one, if it was the left or the right. No clear fact. Fumble. Bears possession.
9th takeaway by the Chicago defense this season. They turned the prior 80 to 35 points. That one is tipped to the line of scrimmage, and very lucky not to have that one intercepted. It was Charles Johnson, who has had a very quiet year in the absence of his running mate Greg Hardy.
See it just thrown right at him, gets those hands up as a defensive lineman. No, and it's a good thing he did, because if he didn't get that hand on that ball, Rosario had a clear lane down the seam right there.
Panthers defense sacked quarterbacks 61 times a season ago. Of course, here without Hardy, will be facing a trial, domestic abuse trial. That's Brandon Marshall. Inside the 15, down to the 10-yard line. 1st down, Chicago Bears.
You're going to see him one-on-one here. He's going to run that inside shallow crossing route. He beats that press off the line, off of Kaysen, gets it across, gets that first down, and look at his ability to get those extra yards after that catch.
Well, he pronounced himself for the first time all year at 100% perfect health. He injured his right ankle in week 1 and has played through that injury, including a 3-touchdown game in a win at San Francisco. Forte to the end zone, and the Bears on the board.
Do a great job here of making it look like a little kick protection. Get Bennett out of there. You know, just hit him on that inside. And that's something Forte is known for. His ability to catch the ball out of the backfield like a wide receiver. To have a complete back like this in the backfield, this is something that a lot of NFL teams are missing. A guy who can be in first, second, and third down. You don't have to have that rotation of guys, and that's why Matt Forte brings that much value to this team.
Going after is good by Robbie Gould, and it's a 7-7 game. It began with a strip by Isaiah Fry. They just re-signed him 3 weeks ago, and they turned that into a touchdown. We're tied at 7 in Charlotte. 11th passing touchdown for the Bears inside the red zone. They have not scored a single rushing touchdown so far this year. The only team in the NFL yet to do that. What's hard to believe, isn't it?
It is very hard to believe, especially when you have a back like Matt Forte and you're the Chicago Bears. That's something that you're known for, is running the ball down there in the red zone.
Isaiah Fry with that big strip a moment ago. And this one will be booted through the back of the end zone. Don't forget Fox tonight. No ordinary night. It's Sunday Fun Day. All new episodes of your favorite comedies, all leading to the season premiere of Mulaney. It starts at 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central tonight on Fox. Panthers have only run 7 plays on offense. And here we are with 4:31 to play in the opening quarter, tied at 7. Newton throws it into traffic, and it's incomplete. Let's check in back in LA with Kurt Menefee.
All right, the Atlanta Falcons have answered the Giants. Score, Steven Jackson still motoring, 10 yards. He takes it in from outside. And the Giants just fumbled the ensuing kickoff. Uh-oh, it's 7-7. Tom and David.
All right, Mr. Menefee, thank you very much. It's been a wild one so far. And the Philly Brown punt return for a touchdown. Carolina turnover leading to the Forte score. 2nd down and 10. Newton pitches on the option to Philly Brown. And that is a first down up to the 34-yard line. Philly Brown was not drafted despite having a couple of outstanding seasons at Ohio State last year, but he's a smaller receiver, and they're utilizing him in the run game here for the first time.
They sure are. If they can use him in the run game, you see him coming over on motion like a ghost, like he's going to run a reverse. Having him being able to do that, having him come over on a fake reverse, keeps that backside defensive end and linebacker honest so that now they can try to crease inside with those zone runs.
Made a 14 for Brown. They'll throw it on first down, and the ball is loose. Stripped by Willie Young. Scramble for the football. Have the Bears recovered? It's tough to tell. And they have. What a pickup Willie Young is turning out to be for these Chicago Bears.
Willie Young actually beats 2 offensive linemen on that. He beats the left tackle and then the left guard to slip through on that, be able to cause that sack, forced fumble right there, and get another turnover for this Chicago Bears defense. There it is. Gets that paw out there, gets that arm down. That's what this Bears defense wants to do. They want to be aggressive, and this is what they've always been known for, their ability to create turnovers.
They spent all that money in free agency on Jared Allen and Lamar Houston. And the guy who's having by far the best season along their defensive line is Willie Young.
He had career highs last year in Detroit in pretty much every single category, so he needs to step up, because if we've seen Jared Allen today, he does not look like the way he's been regular season.
Pneumonia missed a game last week, lost over 15 pounds. They give it to Forte, and just nowhere to go. Slowed down initially by Johnson. Kaysen to tackle him. Second down. Well, you know, if you're a gambling man, and there might be a few out there, if you don't have a rushing touchdown, it stands to reason they're probably going to throw the ball, right?
Well, you would say that, considering they had success doing it down here in the red zone. But I still believe Matt Forte is the key for this offense.
Butler looking around, gives it to Forte, and he is shot down, upended by Josh Norman, and Norman shaken up. Told you Norman getting the start this week after Melvin White was benched against Baltimore a little more than a week ago. Norman, a 5th round pick 2 seasons ago. And he is still down on his belly. We're going to take a break while they check on Josh Norman, the injured Panther. Well, Norman able to get up and walk under his own power off the field, but clearly is shaken up over on that sideline. The same holds true, by the way, for Bears safety Chris Conte. They are checking him for a possible concussion. Laura Oakman will have more in a moment. What we do know is it's 3rd down and 7. Bears with the football at the Carolina 11 following the strip sack by Willie Young. Carolina defense not very stingy in the red zone. Opponents 11 trips. They've scored 9 touchdowns.
Look at Matt Forte down here as a wide receiver position.
4-man rush. And Cutler scrambling. He can run the ball. And he will find the end zone. A touchdown for Jay Cutler. That is one of the more underrated parts of Cutler's game. He is a very good runner.
He most certainly is a very good runner, and you're going to see Matt Forte, who was lined up out there as a wide receiver, actually come back and lay that block for Cutler to get that touchdown. Doesn't force anything, sees nobody's open, takes that run. Look at Forte get that key block. Touchdown Chicago, all off of that turnover.
First rushing touchdown of the season on the 104th rushing attempt of this season. And it belongs to Jay Cutler to give Chicago its first lead of the game, and they've taken advantage of a pair of Carolina turnovers. It started with a catch and the fumble by Benjamin. The strip by Fry. Forte with a touchdown. Then Young to strip, leading to the Cutler touchdown. And of course, forcing turnovers have been such a huge part of this Bears defense for many, many years. And a big part of that, Charles Tillman, who has been lost for the season with injury.
You know, he's on the sideline smiling over there with his defensive backs because he was a turnover and forced fumble specialist. His ability to punch the ball out, take right pursuit angles, you know, put his shoulder or hat on the football. What a great player for the Bears, you know, to draft in 2003. And not only what he has done on the football field, but what he's done off the field, the true leader of that team. You know, a great guy who's done so much to the Chicagoland community. You know, what a great player in the NFL to have.
Jay Cutler, that is his first rushing touchdown going all the way back to 2011. Philly Brown will take a knee. And we have a flag all the way back to where they kicked it off. Boy, this has been a flag fest already here today. We are still in the first quarter, and there's 2:13 left in it.
Offside, kicking team. Carolina has exercised the option of adding the 5-yard penalty to the end of the run. First down.
And you see this crew throwing more penalty flags than any other so far this year in the NFL. Saturday, two of the nation's top quarterbacks collide. Pac-12, Oregon and UCLA both stunned by losses yesterday. Coverage begins at 3 Eastern only on Fox, streaming live on Fox Sports Go. It was an upset-laden Saturday in college football.
It definitely was. A lot of the outcomes, last-minute plays. Man, but that's what football is all about.
That was a fun day yesterday. Alabama lost. Wild one there. First down, and this is Obadiah, his first carry as a Carolina Panther. Tripped up to the 28-yard line by Lance Briggs. Last time they lost 2 fumbles in an opening stanza. 13 years ago, spanning better than 200 games.
That's something that you don't want to rehash, that's for sure, especially with how important this game is for your team at home. You and I both know this stretch that they're going to have is not easy.
Oh boy, you're not lying. Second down. Newton. Tipped into the air by Briggs and nearly intercepted by Jennings. He had an eye on Olsen. Let's check in back in L.A. with Joel Klatt.
All right, Tom, up to Detroit we go. Matthew Stafford from 9 yards out. Not Megatron, but it is Golden Tate. That's a touchdown. 7-0 Detroit. Back to Carolina, Tom, David, and Laura.
Well, Joel was all over that college football Saturday yesterday. Of course, Golden Tate started Notre Dame. Boy, did they come up with a thriller yesterday in beating Stanford. Third down, blitz coming. And the throw is dropped in the hands of Benjamin, and it may have been stripped out of there by the rookie Kyle Fuller. Yep.
Look at that, just not able to pull that ball in. Great play, rookie versus rookie. Offensive player of the month for the rookie, defensive player of the month for a rookie. It's a great matchup.
Well, now looking into that bright sunshine, that's what Santonio Holmes is getting ready to do. Although his first chance today, he had an excellent return. It was called back on a penalty. Holmes all the way back to the 10-yard line. And a good return here by Holmes. That's a 22-yard return by Santonio Holmes. So this is like vintage Chicago Bears football, at least through nearly an entire quarter, David Deal. You grew up watching the Bears. They, for many, many years, have been known to create turnovers on defense, and already a pair of them leading to 14 points here today.
And that's the emphasis that this Bears team is talked about. You talked to Lance Briggs before the game, and he said it's great to get the turnovers, but if we can turn those into points for our offense and continue to give them the ball, that's when you're going to see how dynamic our offense can be and give them that big playability.
Butler wanting that football before the play clock expired, gets it away, and very close to a first down. Former Panther tight end Dante Rosario, gain of 9. Bears really haven't had to do a whole lot as far as moving the football is concerned. I mean, they have under 100 yards of offense. They've had short fields twice, touchdowns twice.
Got to give the defense a lot of credit for the field position that they've been giving them. And also Santonio Holmes with a great return here to be able to get them to the 40 now and continue to keep this Bears offense in stride.
Norman walking off the field. They hand it off to Forte. And he has a first down up to the 48-yard line on what may be the final play of this opening quarter.
Now, we discussed Philly Brown on those reverses earlier in the game for Carolina. Same thing, Alshon Jeffrey being able to come across that defense to hold that backside of the Carolina's defense so that they have to play it honest. That alone is going to let Forte really get into those gaps inside, really be able to be a force inside.
So the Bears have to feel mighty good about at least his first quarter, coming off that loss against Green Bay a week ago. 14-7 Chicago. Fox NFL Sunday continues right after this. Set to begin the second quarter. Alongside David Deal and Laura Oakman, our entire Fox crew. Tom Brenneman with you from Charlotte. First down, the screen to Forte with blockers in front. That'll be a gain of 5 on first down. Let's check in with Laura Oakman.
Thanks, Tom. I have a Josh Norman update. It's in the locker room right now. They're calling it a shoulder injury. His return's questionable. He was doing work with trainers and the doctors, kind of pointing to his neck, shoulder, possibly that stinger area, looking like that's what it was, but they're calling it a shoulder, and his return is questionable. Chris Conte for the Bears is still in the locker room being evaluated for concussion. I'll update you on that as we get more information.
Boy, thank you very much. Well, they spotted just inside the 49, so it'll be second and a long 6. Blitz coming. And look at the open running room for Cutler. Slides down to the 35 for a first down.
Bears do a very good job of communicating. You can hear before the snap, picking up this blitz. But the way that they both blitz, both double-A gap by Thomas and Kuechly either side, it just opens up that natural running lane for Jay Cutler to take it right down the center, to take that first down, but also not take a hit. He slides, gets down, doesn't take that contact. First down for the Bears.
Cutler is their leading carrier so far today. 2 rushes, 23 yards, and a touchdown. Forte, good running room. And that is another Chicago first down to the 23.
That's what you love about Matt Forte. Just look at his patience before he hits the hole. He lets his tight ends get involved. He lets his offensive linemen work their double teams. And then from there, if you give him that opening, he's going to make the most of each and every play and get as many yards as he can. The best thing he always does towards the end is tucks that ball away. He always puts that ball away.
Forte ranks second and second only to the great Walter Payton. Rushing yards from scrimmage in Bears history. And they'll try and add to it, and will. Flag down.
Holding, Chicago, number 64. 10-yard penalty, remains first down.
Well, that's Brian De La Puente. He is starting his 3rd consecutive game for the injured Roberto Garza. They just did get Slauson back this week. Some of the leaders, you see Cutler, not only passing, but Cutler's doing it on the ground as well. And really not much as far as the passing game is concerned. They haven't needed to do much in the passing game.
They've had a short field, and they've been able to take advantage of it.
Touchdown was on basically a screen set up to Forte. Just like this right here, just a quick little slant, and Kuechly read it beautifully. It's good play right there by Kuechly.
just an instinctive football player. You know that he's a student of the game right here. He's got his eyes out there. He sees Matt Forte, sees it coming in, he sees the guard coming out. Kyle Long is able to slide underneath it and still make that open field tackle. That's why he was the Defensive Player of the Year last year.
Yeah, Rookie of the Year 2 years ago, Defensive Player of the Year last year, the only player besides Kuechly and Luke in history to do that. Lawrence Taylor with the New York Giants. Martellus Bennett, and that is Kuechly right there with it, step for step.
It's back-to-back plays right there for Luke Kuechly. Same as we've seen before. They had Thomas Davis, Luke Kuechly up in there looking like they were blitzing, him able to get out and still make that play at the sidelines on Bennett. And then look at the crowd and the people that he's with right now.
Yeah, the difference between Kuechly, Taylor, and then Watt is Kuechly and Taylor are the only two to win Rookie of the Year and then Defensive Player of the Year in their first 2 seasons in the league. Third down, Cutler into the hands of Jeffrey. First down and a touchdown for Alshon Jeffrey. Beautifully designed play, beautifully executed play. Got the block from Martellus Bennett, his tight end. 25-yard touchdown.
Going to see Jeffrey right here, but watch Martellus Bennett come out here and really, boom, gets that block. Marshall upfield gets the second block. When you have wide receivers who are able to block downfield like this, sustain it, not only in the passing game, but in the running game, that's where it opens up everything. And as an offensive lineman, as a guy in that locker room, you give those guys a lot of credit because you understand it takes all 11 guys on the field to run the ball successfully. There's some pushing and shoving, something going on down there. Your old teammate Chase Blackburn saying he was undercut. 21-7 Bears.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by the Lincoln Motor Company and the first ever MKC. By Visa Checkout, the easier way to pay online. And by Corona, who invites you to find your beach.
(21-7). Couple of big plays for the Chicago Bears offense, and those have been few and far between through the first 4 games of the year. A 21-7 lead. All right, let's go back to that play, and Jeffrey virtually untouched.
Yeah, if you look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys up. They all blitz, and look at the amount of space that each one of these guys have. So you're going to give Jeffrey that much space with Brandon Marshall and Martellus Bennett. They just see it, they check it down to him, run that little flare screen. The blocks out there by the receiver and tight end, that's what opens that up. And that ability for Jay Cutler to recognize the blitz and check to that play, that is a very, very good sign of what this Bears offense is looking to do today.
They hand it off to Obadiah. We mentioned it. He was just signed this week. Spent last year in Cleveland where he ran for 240 yards, caught 48 passes out of the backfield. But again, the Panthers without their all-time leading rusher, D'Angelo Williams, Jonathan Stewart, a one-time Pro Bowl 1,000-yard rusher, and Mike Tolbert, all 3 injured today.
And so far through the first quarter, going in here to the second, you can see it's clearly had an impact on this offense.
Newton is able to find Ed Dixon, and that's the first down up to the 31, and we send it back to Los Angeles and Joel Klatt.
All right, Tom, to Detroit we go. Remember, Kyle Orton gets a start. E.J. Manuel benched. Rasheed Mathis from Bethune-Cookman. 41-yard interception return for a TD. 14-0 Lions, Tom. Hey, by the way, those Buckeyes looking good yesterday.
They are looking good. Just keep an eye on them. Quietly moving up the poles. Thank you, Joel. First down at 10. And Newton will throw. Batted down at the line of scrimmage. Let's check in downstairs with Laura.
Tom, we talked to defensive coordinator for the Bears, Mel Tucker, this week. The Bears defense has a goal board each week. This week, number 1 was get a win. It always is. Number 2, takeaways. That is being preached this entire game. That's all that Mel Tucker is saying as he walks up and down this Bears sideline. Takeaway, takeaway, takeaway. Every time that defense gets back on the field.
Well, Mel Tucker, last year, his first season, the Bears set a franchise record for most yards allowed in a season. And the first month in September has not been much better. So they're hoping today might be the start of things. In fairness to Tucker, and it's been written about and talked about in Chicago ad nauseum. You know, oftentimes, not all the time, but oftentimes you get what you pay for. The Bears are spending more than double the amount of money on their offense than they are spending on their defense.
And think about the injuries that they had along the defensive line all of last season.
Yep.
I mean, it was a D-line by committee. They were bringing people off of the street towards the end. So to have that stability would really help this defense.
And they've had injured starters already this year. Allen and Ratley and McClellan and Tillman. Third down, all day to throw. And that'll be a first down catch by Benjamin, and he's across midfield. Melvin Benjamin grew up chasing rabbits in Belle Glade, Florida. That's a big man.
Here he is at the bottom of the screen. See him against Fuller. He's going to run, snap it off, come back to the football. Gets Fuller back on his heels. Look at the size difference of this matchup right here. We've got 5'11" against 6'5".
Benjamin went to Florida State as a freshman, weighing 255 pounds as a wide receiver. It's a pretty good carry right there by Obadiah, tripped up by Jonathan Boston. When's the last time you saw a receiver go 255?
I don't think I've ever seen a receiver that's 255 pounds, but when we were out of practice, you could just see how, you see it as a number, but when you see him on the field, you really see how big of a football player that he is and the size difference that he brings to this game when you're playing up against smaller defensive backs.
By far the most impressive drive of the day for this Carolina offense. Got a 6-yard run out of Obadiah. They'll give it back to him, but not much room this time, maybe a yard. It brings up third down for Carolina. Ego Ferguson, the rookie, on the stop.
Big third down here for Carolina.
And it's stunning that Benjamin's standing on the sideline.
He's a player who just got you the first down the series before.
So maybe he was shaken up. Carolina 1 out of 4 on third down. Bunch formation. And a throw right there. And again, it is Dixon. One-time outstanding tight end. When he's healthy, he's a good one.
He most certainly is, and they need another tight end. When Greg Olsen gets the amount of attention that he gets as a tight end, you have to have somebody else come in here.
And Olsen limping off the field.
Cam Newton making his reads, going through his progressions. You see Greg Olsen go down and looks like an ankle.
Saw him fall down right in the middle of the field. Former #1 pick by the Bears.
That is something Cam Newton does not want to see.
One way, the other way to Philly Brown. A block by Newton on Lance Briggs. Oh my. I'm excited about it.
What a block. Get it to Reeves, to Philly Brown. Lays that hit. Good block there by Khalil. There it is. You want to get your quarterback involved, not necessarily in that way.
No.
But he always said, I'm a football player. I'm not just a quarterback, and I'm going to do whatever I can on the football field to help us win. He clearly showed it there.
Well, but that's throwing your right throwing shoulder into Lance Briggs. Second down. Very close to a first down. DJ Williams on the stop. Darren Reeves comes back. And, you know, Olsen, the former general manager of the Bears, who drafted Olsen, Jerry Angelo said point blank this week, we made a terrible mistake by trading Greg Olsen to Carolina. They got a third-round pick for him back in 2011.
Yeah, you could sit here and say woulda, shoulda, coulda, and he would have definitely been an impact player for this team. He's one of Jay Cutler's best friends, so that was tough for him. But he said 4 years down the road, it's worked out for me and it's worked out for the Bears.
Look into the end zone, and it was batted down.
Ego Ferguson getting that hand up in that throwing lane.
He had an eye on Brandon Williams, tight end who checked in for the injured Greg Olsen.
They always say as a defensive line, if you feel that you can't get there with your rush, if you see that quarterback plant his feet in the ground, get your eyes on his eyes and get those hands up.
Under 5 minutes to go here in the opening half. 12th play of the drive. Spanning almost 6 minutes. Pump fake. And again, batted down and into the arms of Lance Briggs. That is an interception. And what a time to get their third forced turnover of the game for the Chicago Bear defense. And it looked like Ferguson, again the man who tipped the ball.
Looks like Ferguson was at the nose tackle again. Sees his eyes, gets his hand up in that throwing lane. You know, everybody was looking for that definitive angle to see if he caught it. Clearly, Lance Briggs gets a hand and elbows underneath that ball right there at the end. Even if it is ruled, kind of, he's already got possession. His knees are down.
You know, Lance Briggs this season, the Bears' leading tackler, but that is his first takeaway so far this year. And Mike Pereira taking a look at that one as well back in Los Angeles. Anything catch your eye there, Michael?
No, I think they just have to look at the fact the ball does hit the ground, but does he have control first, which I think he does. Does he lose possession of the ball when he actually rolls over? And I don't think there's anything enough here that you could actually reverse it. He's got possession here. Now he rolls over. You're going to see the laces roll a little bit, but he's going to get up still in control of the ball. I think you have to leave this as an interception.
Field will stand as an interception. Chicago's ball, first down.
So it does indeed stand. 7-time Pro Bowler Lance Briggs with the interception. Got to go back to 2010 in a game against the Bengals when the Panthers last turned it over 3 times in a half. And they were just putting together their first good drive of this game. So now the Bears with all 3 timeouts remaining. 4:44 to play until halftime, and blown dead before it ever starts.
False start, offense, number 17. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Big Ego Ferguson. So he's making an impact on his Bears defense. He has a sack in each of the last 2 games coming into this one today, and now a tip pass that is intercepted.
Back-to-back tip passes.
Yep.
So he clearly is getting his eyes focused on Cam Newton's eyes. So Cam Newton has to make sure he's scanning the field to make sure these D-linemen don't get that feed.
Forte, not much there. Bring up second down and 15 for the Chicago Bears. Of course, Mark Trestman, 58 years old, grew up in Minneapolis, Minnesota, in his second year as head coach of the Bears. 17 years he's been in the NFL. 5 years prior to coming to Chicago, head coach in the Canadian Football League, where he won back-to-back Grey Cup championships with the Montreal Alouettes. Considered one of the great offensive minds in football for a long time. Forte, wrapped up by Kuechly. Well, there was a fascinating story written in Chicago this week about Kuechly and how Jim Morrissey, the former Chicago Bear linebacker and teammate of Ron Rivera, Morrissey's son played and roomed with Luke Kuechly at Boston College. Morrissey called during Kuechly's senior year Rivera on the phone and said, "Remember Mike Singletary? We played with him." Said, "Remember Brian Urlacher? You coached him." He said, "This guy right now is as good as either one of them, if not better."
And he's proven it in his first 3 years in the NFL, that's for sure.
Screen to Forte. Davis lost him. He breaks a tackle for a first down and more. Forte along the sideline. And finally run out of bounds at 25. Broke a big tackle from Thomas Davis, and that was all she wrote.
Great design here. They're going to keep Matt Forte in here and make him look like he's looking for a blitz pickup to check. They get him out. They slip him out on that screen. Offensive lineman get body on body. Matt Forte once again showing why he's has the yardage and the production that he's had in Chicago Bears history. But as a Carolina Panthers defense right now, the one thing you have to say going into this halftime, we need to wrap up. We need to do a better job of making tackles.
Forte was slow to get up, and so Kadeem Carey comes in, and he is level. That was Davis. That was a guy who just missed a tackle. Well, they're going to take a long look over there at Forte. Look what he has done already today.
16 touches, the rest of the team 12. Is he important for this game plan? I'd say so.
Well, if they're looking at a hand, that's a lot better news than anywhere else.
You could say that, but you're talking about a running back here that's holding the football.
Good point.
So that's the last thing that you want is a hand injury.
Well, better that than a knee injury.
Agreed.
Butler. To Dante Rosario. That's inside the 20 down to the 17-yard line. It'll bring up third down. Clock running. Taking us. Stopped it. They'll crank it back up and it'll take us to the 2-minute warning. 3 turnovers. And the Bears try to turn those into 3 touchdowns. Follow your favorite team all season long. Just go to iTunes.com/NFL. 3rd and 3.
Watch this blitz. Ben Wickery. Well, he stays.
Butler tried to jam it in there to Bennett, covered by Kuechly. And out comes the field goal unit. For more on Matt Forte, let's send it downstairs to Laura Oakman.
You guys were right initially talking about his left hand. That's what they were looking at. But this injury update is a good note. They just gave him his helmet back. He put it back on. He was ready to go back in there if needed. So it looks like he's going to be all right.
All right, Laura, thank you very much. So a much-needed stop, if you will, meaning a non-touchdown for this Carolina defense. Robbie Gould has been about as good as anybody in the game for a long time. And as soon as you say it, he misses one. The second most accurate kicker in the history of football has missed a chip shot.
Today's game is sponsored by The Judge from Warner Brothers Pictures in theaters October 10th.
This guy's been money in the bank. You and I were saying we don't know if we've ever seen Robbie Gould miss a field goal.
No, I haven't. And you know, this Carolina team just took a deep breath out because they were giving up 100% points in the red zone. 80% touchdowns, but 100% points.
Ball to 25, 1:51 to play until halftime, and the Panthers with all 3 timeouts remaining. That is Olsen back into the game. He looked like he rolled over an ankle or a foot injury on the last series, and that's a first down, a gain of 12 up to the 37-yard line. Laura Oakman telling us they tape that ankle up, and right back in goes Olsen, who's playing in his 115th consecutive game today. Right down the middle of the field, and that is Jason Avant. to the 42. Clock running down to 1:11.
Now, as a Bears defense, you know you don't want to give up the big play, but you can't keep giving up big chunks of offense like this. You still got to play aggressive. You still got to play your defense.
Fake the handoff, slant to Avant. First down to the 20-yard line. And that will be a timeout taken now by the Panthers. Boy, bang, bang, bang. Olsen, Avant again. Slow to get started, this Carolina offense. We mentioned their last drive. Very impressive before the tip pass was intercepted by Lance Briggs. And now they go 12 yards, 20 yards, 22 yards. And it's first down at the Bears 21.
Well, these last two drives by the offense by Carolina, this is when we've really actually been able to see some form of identity from this team.
Without their top three running backs. Williams, Stewart, Tolbert all down. And looking for Benjamin, who got turned around. There was some contact down there near the end zone. No penalty flags.
So Kelvin Benjamin right here. Gets that release, gets it inside. Looks like he just couldn't find that football. It got thrown to his back shoulder. He had to turn around to try getting it. Got to give full credit on that defense.
Four-man rush. Newton to Cotchery, and he dives forward. Very close to a first down. And that clock continues to run, 30 seconds. Panthers have two timeouts left. Boy, they're burning a lot of time here. And this is a third down. I mean, you can't just spike the ball here. And Newton's going to run it and then call a timeout. So they almost burned a full 20 seconds. After the catch, ball was spotted, getting to the line, snapping, tackle, timeout.
That's something that they've had to talk about in the huddle. You know, get up to the line of scrimmage, run that quick quarterback sneak if it's a third and short situation. But still, you wasted 20 seconds almost on the clock there with two timeouts. I mean, give yourself an opportunity here. Take the timeout. If you're still going to run the quarterback sneak, we talked about how big Cam Newton is. From there on, then open up the rest of your offense. But right here, that time wasted, something that you definitely don't want to have.
120 yards on these last two drives. Mike Shula in the box calling the plays for the Panthers. He's their offensive coordinator. First and goal. Newton to the end zone, and that is a touchdown for Greg Olsen. We got a ball game again.
Yeah, see here, Greg Olsen is the inside guy. You're going to see Jonathan Boston's just going to punch and pass him, thinking that he has that back help. There's that touchdown. You got McCray back there sitting deep at the back of the end zone. That one-on-one matchup is what they were looking for down here in the red zone. And touchdown, Carolina.
Point after is good. Of course, Greg Olsen celebrated the birth of his little boy, JJ, 3 years ago, but the last 3 years have not been easy. For more on that, let's check in with Laura Oakman.
Tom, you know Panthers and Bears fans know all about Greg Olsen's beautiful family, especially 2-year-old TJ, who spent a month in the hospital after his third open heart surgery. The great news, TJ is now home, where his dad says he is happy and getting stronger. I know I speak for all of us at Fox and all of you watching when I say all our love and prayers go to the Olsen family, who are very happy watching Daddy score a touchdown at home.
As you mentioned, Laura, his third major surgery since birth. And thank God that story has a happy ending. So Olsen will immediately get some work, I would imagine, done on that ankle inside the locker room. That's why he went sprinting up in there, or jogging up in there. He doesn't look to be running at 100%, but I mean, just like that, a minute 39, 75 yards and a touchdown to get within a touchdown.
Yeah, it almost looks like these last two drives, Carolina's offense has really picked up the pace, getting in and out of the line of scrimmage, getting out of the huddle, giving themselves opportunities, as an offense to be successful after all the forced turnovers that they've had.
Boy, Chris Williams took a lick from Ben Jacobs. Holy moly. Bears defense, a big story so far.
It's the first one. That's the one that's ripped out by Fry. With the good old lawnmower move. Here's the sack forced fumble. There's the tip ball by Eagle Ferguson, picked off by Lance Briggs. Each one of these have led to Chicago points.
So 21-14. One would assume Cutler will just take a knee here. And that'll do it. So the Visa halftime coming up. Texas two-step tonight. Divisional battle in the Bayou. All that and more. We go to Kurt Menefee and company in Los Angeles. 21-14 Bears, moments away from a second half. Our Nissan performance that excites. A play of who else? Matt Forte. 16 touches, 120 yards, and a touchdown. But David Deal, I have to ask you, this was the first half totally dominated by the Bears. They forced 3 turnovers. That's great news. And the good news is you're ahead by 7. But are you a little concerned it's only 7?
You can't say that you're a little concerned that it's 7, having the 3 turnovers. Essentially, Carolina's only real touchdown coming off of the punt return. But, looking at this and looking at this game, this second half for you, you've got the turnovers in the first half, but this second half is where you've got to turn those turnovers into points each and every time and take advantage of each and every opportunity you have to control the time of possession and pretty much neutralize the Carolina offense like you have.
Well, the Bears 15 in a row they've won when leading at halftime. Let's check in downstairs after visiting with the coaches with Laura Oakman.
Hi, guys. I talked to Ron Rivera and said, what did you do those last 2 offensive drives that you were able to finally move the ball down the field? And he kind of just exhaled and said, we didn't turn the ball over. So I said, okay, the Bears are going in at halftime preaching, take away. What are you preaching? And he said, the very same thing. I'm telling them, be smart, keep your hands down, and for goodness sakes on defense, tackle. Tom?
As David Deal thought they might bring up that topic. So here we go. First down. Cutler out of the shotgun. And I mean, his money man all day today has been Forte. Some of the numbers in the first half. Forte ran for 35 of their 59. And Forte on the receiving end, 93 yards of their 176.
It just goes to show you what he means to this football team. And I think last week, having him getting the carries that he had, having the production, that's really led into this week in the offense production, obviously, by the Bears.
Gain of 8, they hand it to Forte, who spins out of a tackle and is short of the first down. They needed to get to the 30. So right from the get-go, you have a third down. Carolina at the end of the half, the momentum, have the pendulum swing back their way, getting down that touchdown. And now it is a third down on the opening possession of this second half.
Well, if they can get a 3 and out, that's what this Carolina defense wants to change this momentum of this game.
Jeffrey, and he has a first down. Charles Godfrey getting to start over at that other cornerback, or at least in a nickel situation to begin this second half. Godfrey, the former safety turned cornerback. Remember, Josh Norman was injured in the first half. So Melvin White, who lost his starting job this week, is back in there now. Underthrown. Almost wonder when you see a pass like that, and maybe first thought is, was it tipped in the line of scrimmage? Didn't look like it.
No, it didn't look like the ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage. It just looked like it came out of his hand wrong.
Well, that is the kind of throw you never see from Cutler. I mean, this guy has a cannon for an arm. And like you said, maybe he just slipped right out of it.
Yeah, it looks just like when it came out of his hand. It just didn't look like the normal ball that comes out of Jay Cutler spinning.
Screen to Forte. And he's up to the 35-yard line. So now this will be a third down, and let's call it 9.
If you notice this drive, this Carolina defense is doing a better job than they did already in the first half of swarming to the football. When you looked at that one with Forte's getting up, you saw 7-8 Panthers defensive guys around him, and that's what they need to do. They've got to swarm to the ball.
Butler throws, Martellus Bennett, and short of a first down. A tackle in the open field made by Davis. And out comes the punt team, so Carolina makes the stop on a third down.
Good job by Thomas Davis on that. That last play they ran and Brandon Marshall inside on one of those crossing routes, trying to clear things up for the offense, but also to try to maybe pick things. Thomas Davis was able to work through that, still stay man-to-man on Martellus Bennett, and come up with a big tackle and secure it so they didn't get that first down.
Philly Brown has already returned a punt for a touchdown. That was the first score in the game. And he'll have a chance to return this one. Ball is loose. Is this another Chicago takeaway? Brown fumbled one, you may remember, against Pittsburgh. Well, it's a big call right here now. And it is Chicago, or rather Carolina ball. Wow. Nearly a big turnover.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Without a heart, it's just a machine. By Ram Trucks. Guts, glory, Ram. By KFC, the world's best chicken. How do you KFC? And by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV.
Welcome back to Charlotte. The Bears lead by 7. Panthers have the football for the first time here in the second half. They scored on their final possession of the opening half. Blitz coming. Olsen just sits down in the middle of the field, and that's a big gain. Gain of 16 on first down.
Well, going back to this punt return, Antoine Cason is very lucky that he was able to recover this, because everybody's watching Philly Brown. You see the ball get fumbled, but watch Antoine Cason's eyes. He looks upfield to see if he's going to pick it up and run with it instead of just diving on the ball. They're very lucky they got that one.
Good running room there by Darren Reeves. You know, that was the one part of their last 2 drives, really the second to last drive, which we saw for the first time in the game was some semblance of a run game.
It has been, and then you see them going a little bit more up-tempo. You see them checking things at the line of scrimmage, really running their offense. But you're right, even if it's just a 3-yard chunk, at least you're making the defense aware that you are looking to run the football.
Well, they have an injured Bear on the field. That is Will Sutton, rookie 3rd-round pick out of Arizona State. He's been a starter the last couple of weeks in place of the injured Jeremiah Ratliff. And while we have a moment, let's check in with Joel Platt back in Los Angeles.
Tom, let's go to Dallas. How about this? J.J. Watt Looks like he's got Romo, but the Elway-like spin, even with the bad back, and then he finds Terrence Williams. No way. You're kidding me. 10-7 Cowboys. They've got the lead. Tom, Romo's limping.
Well, Romo and the Cowboys are playing pretty good football right now. Trying to go to 4-1. They will go to Seattle. That game will be on Fox next weekend.
It's definitely helped them the year that DeMarco Murray has running the football.
No question. Second down and a yard. Turn around and give it to Reeves. And he has the first down. Just crossed the 40-yard line. Reeves, an undrafted rookie out of UAB, University of Alabama, Birmingham. He only started 13 games in college. He entered the draft early. During the preseason, was performing well, but that's a long depth chart at the running back position here in Carolina. Luke looking for Benjamin. Didn't look like he went all the way out to get that football.
No, I think that
maybe heard footsteps.
On that one, usually that's the one that you see that big, tall receiver stretching out those arms. But you can clearly see he feels the presence of McCray coming from the inside out, looking to lay a hit on him.
So second down and 10 for the Panthers. Zings it across the middle, and that's the first catch of the day for Brenton Burson. He's a big crowd favorite from nearby Wofford College.
Cam Newton just throws a bullet here to Burson, catches it, gets upfield, gets that first down. And you know, when we talked to Cam Newton, he had nicknames for everybody on that offensive side of the ball, and that was one of the best ones, Lord Farquaad, with that long hair from Shrek. Hilarious.
You wrote down all those nicknames. I want to see some of those. That's into traffic, and boy, Yvonne looking for a flag, and there's not one there. Now here are those nicknames.
Yeah, you got Pinky for D'Angelo Williams. He's really the one who started the pink. Brisket for Big Byron Bell, a big offensive tackle.
Like that.
Obi-Wan, Boucher, that was the fuzzy one, because he thought Fozzie's first name was Bobby for 3 weeks.
That is funny. Second down. Screen to Reeves with blockers in front. Boy, Carolina's starting to move the football. That's a first down. Now, did you tell me that Newton gave himself a nickname? That's kind of...
Well, see, that's the thing. You can't name yourself. You can't give yourself a nickname. You can't start off that way. Got to give Trey Turner, the right guard there, the rookie draft pick out of LSU, does a great job getting an open space there to open up that play.
An injured there is Tim Jennings. We'll be back. Slow start today for Cam Newton. He had the fumble on the sack by Willie Young. But he's starting to heat up ever since. The interception occurred on a tip pass at the line of scrimmage. Reeves again. This is powerful running by this young man. And on first down, that's a gain of 8, almost 9. Broke a tackle from Lance Briggs.
Another great run. You're going to see him take his vision, fight through the first tackle, get through the second. Takes 3 men to get him down. Now that's going to give him a lot of confidence moving forward here.
He's averaging 4.5 yards a carry today. He is just pulled down, and we'll see if that's a face mask. Generally, when you see a player go down in that fashion.
Personal foul, grabbing face mask, defense, number 59. This is to be measured half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
Christian Jones.
Lance Briggs shoots off the one edge, gets low. You're going to see Christian Jones on top, right there. You can't really see it there, but you see his helmet get jerked back. That motion, See. Well, on that one, I don't see it.
Plus, he had a grip on the
side of the helmet. Yeah.
Face mask where they meet. He didn't seem to be arguing a lot about it.
No.
Of course, what's he going to say? All right, first and goal. Penalty moves the ball to the 7-yard line. Jump ball. And a penalty flag thrown on Kyle Fuller. Couple of #1 draft picks. Offensive Rookie of the Month, Defensive Rookie of the Month, and the defender gets a penalty.
Pass interference. Defense number 23 with early contact. Ball replaced at the 1-yard line. First down.
Got Kelvin Benjamin at the top of the screen here, running that back fade, getting to that pylon. Fuller getting his hands on him past 5 yards. You know, that physical matchup, but that's what we've been hearing all preseason, all regular season. The emphasis on PI and illegal use of hands.
It's hard to believe that's the first pass interference penalty against the Bears this season. And that is Obaniah into the end zone. Touchdown, Carolina.
We're going to see the big boys up there get a good double team. You always talk about get the defensive lineman's feet in the end zone. Then you see the defensive lineman for the Bears back in the end zone. Good push by that offensive line of the Panthers. And that's the type of drive that this Carolina Panthers offense is capable of having as long as they protect the football and stay in their own rhythm.
So now Graham Gano for the point after, which would tie the game if successful. Cutler and the Bears stalled on their first drive to begin this second half. And Newton and the Panthers picked up right where they left off at the end of the opening stanza.
Got to give credit to Mike Shula as the coordinator. He's done a great job of implementing this run attack now.
Yep.
And they're really rushing the ball well.
Out of the hold of Norton. J.J. Jansen the snap. And we are tied. And Cam finding a youngster, says no to the old fella. Says, Granddad, this is for grandson here.
Gotta love that. He'll remember.
Today's game is sponsored by Verizon. More live games than ever before with NFL Mobile.
Well, new this season, stream live local Sunday afternoon games right on your smartphone with NFL Mobile. All of a sudden, we got a good one here, Mr. D.
We most certainly do, and you spoke to it about it at half. With the Bears alarm that they only were up 7 off of those 3 turnovers. We've got a tied game here, 21-21, and let's see if the Bears can shake what they did last week in the 3rd and 4th quarter.
Yep. We begin anew with 7:15 to play in the 3rd. All right, 21-21. Chicago with the football at its own 20-yard line. Cutler coming out throwing. And Martellus Bennett the catch. Gain of 5 yards on first down. Tomorrow, the MLB postseason on Fox Sports 1 continues. They shift to St. Louis and Busch Stadium, Game 3. 9 Eastern on Fox Sports 1, streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
What a great series. I mean, we're already into the 3rd game, tied 1-1. What a great series so far.
And, of course, Jordan Wolf, who loves his Dodgers, can't believe what happened in Game 1. And that's a big carry for Matt Forte. And a late, was that a flag that came in?
Yeah.
And they will talk it over. That was a 19-yard run.
Personal foul. Offense number 17 with the blindside ball. 15-yard penalty. Remains second down.
Wow. So that erases a 19-yard run. The penalty on Alshon Jeffrey. Let's take a look at what happened here.
And that's the second time this has been called today. So let's see where. Was it by Brandon Marshall? Did they meant to say 15?
Yeah, I think it's why you saw Jeffrey go, what did I do? I think it was on Brandon Marshall.
You're going to play the innocent act all the time, though, regardless of if they throw it at you or not.
It did look like he made a good block.
He made a great block. He set the edge for that offense and for Forte to get outside.
And it is Marshall who makes a reception. And another flag. This might be a late hit on Jay Cutler.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense number 99 flexed his arms and shoved the quarterback to the ground. This 15-yard penalty will be added to the end of the play. First down.
That's K1 Short.
Here's the replay. You're going to see him after Cutler gets rid of the ball. Here's Short right here, 99. Just that last little push, knockdown. Obviously, each referee, they want to protect the quarterbacks, and that one that's clear, the ball's out of his hands. They're going to throw that every time.
Yep, you're right. First down, they tack on the penalty across into Panthers territory, and play action. Cutler stepping up, throws to Marshall across the middle, and that's another first down.
Yeah, and that's one of the points that we talked about is, Luke Kuechly coming into this game said, when you're playing up against Jay Cutler in this offense, you may think that you have a guy locked up and you could be body to body next to him and think that you have him clear. See, but he is going to throw that football regardless of whether he sits in the pocket, sits in the zone, whether you're right next to him. Jay Cutler is a gunslinger, sometimes for the good, sometimes for the bad. That's when it's for the good right there.
They move the chains, and Forte bouncing off tacklers, took 3 Panthers to drag him down after a gain of 9.
Another nice block by Alshon Jeffrey out there to set the edge to get Forte to slash through and get that upfield first down. Once again, look at the size difference. You're going to see him here. He's going to get up. He's going to get those hands. He's going to keep rerouting, reworking him so he doesn't get that hold call. Sets that edge. That's all you need to do. If you body him up, keep your hands on him, give that back that two-way go where he can go inside and outside. Leave it up to the back.
Blown dead before it ever got started. Which normally means false start.
Full start. Offense number 88. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
2nd and 1 goes to 2nd and 6.
Those are the ones that you have on the road that you always talk about. It's already tough enough as an offense, to communicate, to do all those things. But on the road, you've got to say the snap count has to be your friend. You can't keep putting yourself back in the worst position.
I want you to walk me through being in the huddle after this play. There's a catch, short of a first down, 3rd and a yard. All right. When they're in the huddle and they call the play, where does the snap count come? At the end?
Right now what they're doing is, as a Bears offensive line, you see Sloss in the guard watching the play clock, making sure that Jay Cutler gets him in the right protections. Once they clear everything up, he's going to tap the center. The center's going to snap it. Problem is that was out there by the tight end. They say, well, we can't see the ball. We always talk. Watch the guy, the adjacent offensive lineman's hand in front of you. That hand is going to move. That's going to give you the tee to come off on the snap.
Good stuff. 3rd down, and they deny Chicago. Thomas Davis, who missed a big tackle earlier in this one when Forte had the big run. does not miss a tackle this time.
Ron Rivera talked about it, saying at halftime, we've got to tackle better, we've got to wrap up. Thomas Davis clearing through all the traffic, through everything, going over the blocks, making a big play and a big stop for this Carolina defense.
Hey, Charles Godfrey helped blow that play up. That's good play. So now Gold, who had a rare miss, in fact his first of the season. This will be from 45 yards away. And that one is Robbie Gold-like. So the Bears come away with 3. 24-21, Chicago in front. 2:38 to play in the third quarter. Last 2 Carolina possessions have been the touchdown scoring possessions. The only time Carolina had a lead in this game was after the punt return for a touchdown by Philly Brown in the first quarter. And this will be Brown from the goal line. Cuts it back to the inside and wrapped up at the 18-yard line. Well, as we do every week, we'd love to welcome the men and women in uniform serving around the world, watching today's broadcast in 175 countries and aboard ships at sea on AFM, the American Forces Network. We thank all of you for what you do. God bless you all. Standing tall for the greatest country in the world. So they spotted at the 19. Darren Reeves in the backfield once again. 7 carries, 26 yards in this one for Reeves. And Newton to throw on first down. Wide open down the middle of the field is Kadri. And let's go downstairs to hear more about Cam Newton from Laura Oakman.
Tom, we're seeing what guys have been saying all week about Cam. They've never seen him throw a better ball. I talked to him this week. He finally got back into the weight room because of that rib injury. He said it was the most important workout this week, working on the core. He said if you want to be a good passer, you've got to work on ab control. Look at Tom, look at Peyton, look at Drew. If you're a good pocket passer, you have good ab control.
Right on target to Olsen, and that's a first down to the 40.
You talk about ab control. He had it on this where he threw a dart to Greg Olsen. Gets that velocity on him. Gets that ball inside. Greg Olsen protects it. Makes sure he controls it. First down. Move the chains. And this is the Carolina offense that's produced for them in the second half.
Play clock down to 3. They get it off. Newton rolling. And he is hit as he was going out of bounds. Is that going to draw a flag? Well, there's some bumping going on the sideline. Will Sutton with a backup quarterback looks like Derek Anderson down there.
The thing that you're trying to see is Cam Newton out of bounds when he gets hit here? I don't think that he is. Yeah, he has the intent of going out of bounds, but he's not out of bounds yet. So you're playing that ball through the whistle.
And contact was made before a step was out of bounds, so legal hit, no flag. Good no flag. 2nd and 8. Reeves to the 35. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 5 for Carolina, down by 3, less than a minute to play in the third quarter.
See Mel Tucker signaling in that to their defense. And if Mel Tucker isn't the epitome of a defensive coordinator for the Chicago Bears, I don't know what is. He is smash mouth, downhill, physical, grit. That's what the Bears defense is all about.
3rd down and 5. Blitz coming. And Newton is sacked by Stephen Pyle all the way back to the 45. And that will be the final play of this third quarter. And a play that appears to have taken Carolina out of field goal range. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after a break from your local Fox station. So the sack by Chicago will give the football to the Bears. And immediately David Deal, all your years, former All-Pro lineman with the New York Giants, you picked up a blitz, a stunt there by the Chicago Bears as they come after this punt end over end off the foot of Norton. Santonio Holmes, a fair catch of the 11. Take us through what the Bears just did.
Mel Tucker just dialed up the perfect blitz for this situation. So if you go back, you're going to see DJ Williams here, both mugged up, him and Lance Briggs. But what they're going to do is they're going to shoot DJ Williams in this gap, ties up the center and guard. Look at Paella come around to really control the inside of that pocket so Cam can't step up. And you saw all those defensive ends forcing everything inside, keeping them contained, and really just collapsing that pocket in his face. Mel Tucker, great job on that 3rd and 5.
So now the Bears with a 3-point lead start this drive just outside their own 10-yard line. And they'll give it to Forte for a little breathing room, and he is wrapped up immediately by Dewan Edwards. Carolina started the scoring in this one. Philly Brown, a 79-yard punt return for a touchdown, but the Bears defense had 3 takeaways, which led to a couple of touchdowns, but a missed field goal gave Carolina a chance to score a touchdown in the final 2 minutes of the opening half. Carolina tied it with a touchdown to begin the second half, and the Bears get a field goal to take the 3-point lead. And that was ugly before it ever began. This is going to back them up 5 more.
False start, offense number 75. 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
That's Kyle Long, their rookie Pro Bowler at right guard a season ago. 10 for Chicago.
Look at what it did for the last drive. The false start,
huge penalty.
The block, the blind side block, it completely threw that balance of their attack off.
He gets it at 21 for a first down. It's second down. Davis step for step with Rosario. So a 3rd down and 9. Ball at 10 coming up.
And this is where Sean McDermott, the defensive coordinator for the Panthers, and this team is licking their chops. This is the situation that you want to put an offense in, backed up in your own end zone, 3rd and long, crowd getting into it. They need a big stop here on defense.
Tell you, this Bears makeshift line, though, has done a pretty good job today. Cutler's only been sacked 1 time.
They really have. They've done a great job. And Michael Olack, that left tackle going up against Charles Johnson, has really held his own.
Only a 4-man rush. And look at Kuechly right there to drag down Forte. Boy, that guy is a money player, man.
Well, we've seen throughout these drives, you know, Luke Kuechly has always had his eyes on Matt Forte, and to be able to come up, clear through that, diagnose where Cutler's going to go with the football, and once again to make that tackle in open space, that's key.
Philly Brown stands back at his own 35, punting from his goal line is Patrick O'Donnell, the rookie. Fair catch for Brown at the 39. Good field position. We're in the 4th quarter. Kuechly, the stop on 3rd down. And his team has the football.
Today's Game on Fox is sponsored by the new Volkswagen Jetta. Isn't it time for German engineering? By Microsoft Surface, the official tablet of the NFL. And by Bud Light, who reminds fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly.
Luke Kuechly, 12 more tackles, 9 or more in every game this season. Obanaya in the backfield, breaks a tackle, stays on his feet, and that'll be a gain of 4 on first down. Tomorrow on Fox, 2 shows everybody's talking about. Heroes and villains collide in an all-new Gotham. And then it's TV's wildest ride on the new Sleepy Hollow. 2 great dramas you can catch right here tomorrow, 8 Eastern, 7 Central on Fox. 24-21, Chicago in front. Obanaya again. A couple of yards shy of a first down, and we send it back to Los Angeles to Kurt Menefee.
Giants first-round pick Odell Beckham missed the first 4 games with a hamstring injury. Look at this. His first NFL game, his first NFL touchdown, and it puts the Giants in the lead over Atlanta with 9:49 left to play. Tom and David.
Well, David, I don't know if all those years, if you ever fell into Tom Coughlin's doghouse, but Beckham was in there deep for a while this summer.
Yeah. We've all heard screams and taunts from Coach Coughlin, especially when he played for him for 10 years. But, you know, he's a tough guy, demanding guy, but he treats everybody the same, regardless of if you're a rookie or 11-year vet.
Well, that had no chance. Great coverage downfield, rookie on rookie. Man, 3rd down and 3, and they throw the long ball incomplete. 3 and out.
This is that matchup, rookie versus rookie. You're going to see Calvin Benjamin is going to take the inside. Kyle Fuller stays with it. The ball's overthrown there, but great defense. He had inside support coming over there. You know, 3rd down and 3, you've been doing a great job of running the football.
I don't know. You watch some plays sometimes, and you were down there, I wasn't. But 3rd down and 3, as that one will make it into the end zone. I mean, that has Greg Olsen, if not running it, Greg Olsen written all over it.
Either one it is, just give confidence in your offense that you believe in it.
Good look at the quarterback comparison. Cutler has only missed on 4 of his 27 throws. Make it 4 out of 28. Alshon Jeffrey run out of bounds. Tomorrow over on Fox Sports 1, Game 3, Cardinals and the Dodgers. Ryu v. Lackey. That'll be at 9 Eastern on Fox Sports 1, streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Zach Greinke pitching it. A dandy last night. Bullpen let him down, but the Dodgers won it late. There's a bullet to Jeffrey, and that's a first down at the 34. You know, you look at the numbers of Cutler, and you look at the numbers of the offense, and this is one of the things they've talked a lot about in Chicago. The number of yards is not the issue. They had 500 yards of offense against Green Bay last week. The issue is scoring points. They scored 17 against Green Bay. It was the first time since 1947 where they've had more than 496 yards of offense in a game where they lost. First down, nowhere to go. They had a couple of second quarter drives inside the Green Bay 10 where they only got a total of 3 points. Martellus Bennett got stopped inches short of the goal line. And, you know, the argument that's being made by some in Chicago is that, look, they're spending all the money on this team on the offense. So they are built to win games 31-28 if they have to, 35-31. I mean, that's hard to make a living scoring 30 a game in the NFL.
Especially when we're playing in the NFC against great defenses week in and week out. You can't rely on the fact that you think that you're going to put up 34 points a game and put up high statistical numbers like that, because each game is a grind, each game is different, and we've seen what the formula for winning Super Bowls are. It's proven. Being able to run the football and having a physical defense that can create turnovers and pressure the quarterback, plain and simple.
All right, that incompletion makes it a 3rd down and 9. We are under 10 to go.
It's the biggest 3rd down of the game right here.
They've got Godfrey locked up with Marshall in the slot. And now they bring the house. Bears pick it up, but too late.
Once again, you're going to see the pressure and the stunting up in front. You're going to see, look, in the face. Here comes Mario Addison from the outside. Charles Johnson is able to get outside of Ola after his second step. They've swarmed to the ball. They've been able to be aggressive. And those third and long situations are exactly where Sean McDermott and his Panthers defense want to put the Bears.
Booming punt by Norton. Or O'Donnell, I beg your pardon. And Philly Brown back at the 15-yard line. Is hit. Level along the sideline. Panthers have the ball after the big sack from Johnson.
Today's game is sponsored by the new Samsung Galaxy Note 4. The next big thing is here.
8:39 to play. Chicago in front of Carolina, 24-21. Panthers start this drive from their 17-yard line. Take it to Reeves. Newton running. And you know, he is still not running well at all. I mean, we talked a lot about that before the game. We'll get back to it. Week 5 later today on CBS. Then tonight, Sunday Night Football on NBC. Bengals go to New England. And tune in tomorrow, Monday Night Football. It'll be the defending Super Bowl champions in the nation's capital. Lamar Houston, the injured Bear, will take a timeout. Annual screening saves lives. Help finish the fight against breast cancer by visiting NFL.com/pink to celebrate the NFL and the American Cancer Society's first ever A Crucial Catch Day on October the 25th.
Real men are not scared to wear pink.
No doubt about that. Second down and 7. Newton to a wide open Greg Olsen on the crossing pattern. And he's up to the 35. And a penalty flag comes in long after the throw had been made by Cam Newton.
Illegal use of the hands to the face. Offense number 77. 10-yard penalty.
Wow.
Second down.
I mean, that came very late.
He's going one-on-one against Byron Bell here. You see Byron Bell throw his left hand out there, and it just, boop, there it is. And the right hand gets back up in the face mask. That's been one of the emphases coming into this. And the referee, that hand gets in the face. It used to be if you put it up in the face and get it out right away, then they wouldn't call it. They were saying this year that that rule has changed. Anytime they see a hand in the face on the line of scrimmage, they are throwing the flag.
Well, it looked like Jared Allen was straight politicking for that call, and he got it. Newton. And that one dropped by Olsen. Boy, what a difference that is. Would have been a first down for Carolina up to the 35-yard line, and now they are staring down the barrel at a 3rd and 17. That's the only time we have called Jared Allen's name all day today. Now, granted, you got to remember this young man lost a ton of weight, came down with pneumonia, and clearly looks very, very light. He still does not have a single sack as a Bear this first year in Chicago.
I mean, as a defensive end, as an offensive lineman, a D lineman, you want that jersey as tight as possible.
Well, they pitch it inside to Philly Brown, and that did not fool the Bears' DJ Williams.
But what I was saying about Jared Allen, you could just tell. Look at his jersey, look at his body. That weight loss has really affected him today in this game. That's a big stop by the Bears defense. They run that little shovel, little pitch inside. They didn't fool anybody. Bears maintained gap control. Big stop on 3rd down.
Well, that penalty could turn out to be one of the biggest plays in this game. Very short punt. off the foot of Nortman. And that will give the Bears great field position. And now a skirmish breaks out. The long snapper, J.J. Jansen, back at the 15-yard line. Getting tangled up with the Bear back at the line of scrimmage. But no flags. Of course, turnovers, a big story in this one. 3 of them. The strip by Isaiah Fry led to a touchdown. The strip by Willie Young led to a touchdown. The tip pass denied a great Carolina drive down inside the 20-yard line. The Bears would end up missing a field goal. Pitch it to Forte, and look who's hunting him down, Kuechly. Send it back to Los Angeles and Joel Klatt.
Kurt Menefee taking over for Joel right now, and Arian Foster giving the Houston Texans a tied ball game. 7 seconds left. They're all even, 17 with Dallas. Tom and Dick. Tom and David.
Kurt, we're on the merry-go-round here. Oh, right. Loss of a yard. And Cutler. Across the middle, over and through the receiver, and it's intercepted. And run out of bounds is Deku. And the mistake by Cutler has reared its head again.
Talking to this Carolina team before this game, both teams talked about turnovers, but last week, Thomas Deku had a big defensive pass defended that he almost came up with an interception. Luke Kuechly had one last week, almost had an interception. Here's the turnover. Ball is overthrown. He gets it. Deku is playing back in the safety position, is able to come up, read it, get that interception. There may have been some contact. That's what the Bears are arguing right now, saying that there was contact on their receiver, Santonio Holmes. It was not called. Ball overthrown.
35-yard return. Second time Cutler has been picked off today. The other time on a tipped ball. Don't know what the holdup is here. Every change of possession, of course, is under review. They may want to make sure that ball was intercepted in control all the way. There's no doubt about that. And no, here we go. That is Obanaya on first down. And he's inside the 30. That'll be a gain of 3. Second down and 7. And now the clock becomes a factor. Carolina, all 3 timeouts, a field goal to tie, a touchdown, they take the lead.
And that's where them being able to run the ball successfully, keep time of possession on their side, and the ability to take their time, to be patient. Yeah, you want to have a sense of urgency, but there is no need to press right now.
Reeves now in the backfield alongside Newton. And Newton's going to run it. He's just not the same runner right now, whether it's the ankle. Whatever the case may be, and that ankle was surgically repaired. I mean, this was one of the primary weapons in this Panthers offense, the dynamic Cam Newton, and he is just not running at nearly 100%, regardless of what anybody tells you.
No, I mean, you see him walking slow after getting up after these. You know, the boot that the Bears had to stop earlier, that's one he takes for 7-8 yards easily when he's healthy.
3rd down and 5. Blitz coming. And that's a straight drop by Benjamin, and he's looking for a flag. Tell you, this has not been a good day for Kelvin Benjamin.
This is one thing that they talked about with him at Florida State. Some of the drops, you know, that ball is put perfectly where it needs to be by Cam Newton. He sees that Lance Briggs is added on as a blitz, so he needs to get rid of the ball. He throws it, I don't know if there was sights of DJ Williams coming from inside, but that is one that when he watches film, he's going to be very disappointed he didn't catch that football.
Trying to tie it, Graham Gano, 44 yards away, and it is good. So the Bears defense does a nice job after the turnover, regardless of whether it's a drop or not. It's only a field goal rather than a touchdown, and a chance now for Cutler to make amends from that interception which led to the tying points. The tip pass trying to go to Marshall in the first quarter. And then this overthrow, which we brought up earlier on the third takeaway by the Chicago defense. They went touchdown, touchdown, and then this. A rare miss, the first miss, and only miss this year by Robbie Gould.
And then you and I both talked about right when that happened. We said these games, the margin to victory is so slim that missed extra point, that could be the difference between winning this football game or not.
Banged out through the back of the end zone. So Jay Cutler, you saw the 21 or 22 career fourth quarter come from behind wins. 15 of those have come as a Chicago Bear. And that's game-winning drives in the fourth quarter or overtime. And that would be a chance to add to that right here and right now.
They're in perfect position for it. Got all 3 timeouts. Tie ball game. See what they do with it.
Cortez had a very quiet second half. And the ball is loose. Carolina appears to have the football. They do.
We see Matt Forte getting to the edge. Antoine Cason is the one that comes up. Still pressing. He's pushing for those extra yards by Forte. He's able to get the ball out.
Of course, he will review any play that is a turnover. He was still standing up on both of his feet when that ball was stripped out of there.
Huge momentum play right there for the Carolina Panthers defense. Give their offense the ball right now on the 23-yard line going in. It's been a tale of two halves with the turnovers, that's for sure.
And really it's been very similar to the game, although not as dramatic as far as the score, but as far as lack of production from the Bears offense again in the second half of the game. Powerful running there by Reeves. I mean, they looked so good in the first half against Green Bay. Could do nothing in the second half. They had 21 points at halftime today. They have 1 field goal in the second half. And their defense has actually played pretty well.
They most certainly have. Their defensive has been giving them the ball. They've gotten them the turnovers that you need to have the production that you want to have on the offensive side of the ball. But we said it coming right out of half. Was after 21 points, enough off of those 3 turnovers.
This one a long way from being over. Reeves met head on. Strong tackling there by Chicago. Reeves lost his helmet. He's still looking around for his helmet. Big old Byron Bell going to pick it up for him.
I don't think Byron Bell is going to be able to fix that helmet with the amount of tape and clubs that he has in that hand. Look at the Bears defense. Yeah. Willie Young says you lost your bonnet.
Third down and 3. This is an important third down to keep the clock going if you're Carolina. The Bears, maybe you give up a field goal, but you get the ball back if you can get a stop, which they don't. First and goal.
You're going to see one-on-one Greg Olsen versus Tim Jennings out here. You see Greg Olsen is going to use that, press him, snap off to that sideline. That's what you got to love about Greg Olsen. He may be the size of a tight end, but he knows every single route that wide receivers run. He knows how to run them himself. And it's paid dividends this second half.
On first down out of the I formation, they give it to Reeves, and he may have lost a yard. And that'll take us down to the 2-minute warning. If the team so choose, and the Bears say no, we're not waiting on that. Forte, who was so spectacular in the opening half, catching the ball out of the backfield. 11 receptions, 101 yards. He's rushed for 61 yards. But here with a game tied, a rare fumble from Matt Forte, and there's no doubt about it.
Fighting for those extra yards, pushing, and Antoine Cason is just able to get that football out.
Big old K-Wan short at the bottom of that pile. 32 straight wins when leading by 14 or more. They had a 21-7 lead here today before the Panthers scored in the final minute plus of the opening half. Second and goal. Newton to the back of the end zone and just threw that away. Tell you, Fuller has really done a number today on Kelvin Benjamin. The two rookies of the month, offense and defense. Benjamin has 3 catches for 38 yards and has fumbled and dropped a couple.
Kyle Fuller's been having a great job and having a great season in every game. Right now, he's leading the NFL with his 3 interceptions and 2 forced fumbles as a rookie, and got him the Rookie of the Month for September. So it's not only this game. The Bears should be very, very happy with the draft pick in Kyle Fuller.
Well, they got Benjamin down there isolated on Fuller.
One-on-one.
And they go to their money man, Olsen, for the touchdown. Olsen has had a monster game. 72 yards, 6 catches, and a pair of touchdowns against a team that drafted him number 1.
You'll see right off of the line, he's going one-on-one against McCray, beats him inside. Once again, the red zone production by Greg Olsen.
Guy who injured his ankle early in this game, got it taped up, right back in there. Well, the words from Jerry Emery earlier this week, former Bears general manager, said we made a terrible mistake ever trading away Greg Olsen. Well, they're feeling that bite here today. Let's check in downstairs with Laura Oakland.
And let me tell you something, Tom, because Greg Olsen said to us, that was a long time ago. I don't care about that. But if you saw the look on his face walking back to the sideline, you know he cares very much about this game and this win. And all of his teammates are coming up and congratulating him. I think it meant a little bit more than he's letting on.
I think so. I think we just saw him kiss his tight ends coach, Coach Corner, on the cheek there after that one. And that's the thing that you love about this game. There's emotion. There's so much things that go into it. And it's great to see Greg Olsen come up with that touchdown. So
the Forte fumble turns into 7. The lead is 7. Chris Williams is going to bring it out. Not a wise decision. That's Chase Blackburn, 10-year veteran, former Super Bowl hero for the Giants. Your old teammate, Gamer. Well, here in the fourth quarter, Bears fans have seen this before. Interception led to a field goal. The fumble, which led to the go-ahead touchdown. But this one is not nearly over. Plenty of time for Cutler and the Bears. They have a 2-minute warning and a pair of timeouts. And he finds Jeffrey across the middle up to the 35. And that'll take us to the 2-minute warning. Cutler a chance. 7-point game, 2 to go. Two minutes to go. Carolina leading by 7. Bears with a football, first down from their own 35.
But we talked in the opening, which Jay Cutler are we going to get? We saw 2 different Jay Cutlers. 21 points in the first half, only 3 in the second half. The biggest drive of the game is on his shoulders here. Let's see what we're going to get.
Four-man rush. Well, I mean, Kuechly has been shadowing Matt Forte as they've clearly changed up their scheme a little bit, as you pointed out, David, here in the second half.
They most certainly have. Early in the game, in the first and second quarter, they were really able to get it to Forte out of the backfield. They've stopped that the second half.
Blitz coming. They get it away. And that is Santonio Holmes. And where are they going to spot this football?
It's close.
That is the first down. Right at the 45-yard line. First catch of the game for Santonio Holmes. That'll stop the clock. 1:33 to go. Trying to thread the needle. Kaysen in coverage on Brandon Marshall, second down and 10. It's good coverage by Kaysen.
Stepping up in the pocket, delivering it.
We welcome those of you watching the Giants and the Atlanta Falcons with David Deal, Laura Oakman, Tom Brenneman in Carolina. 31-24 Panthers. Chicago with a football. Second down. Cutler rolling. Sacked. A 15-yard loss. And the clock continues to run. And a timeout going to be called by Mark Trestman, leaving the Bears with 1. That was K'Wan Short, who got to the quarterback first.
See K'Wan Short inside. He's going to make that quick inside swim move on Slauson, getting him to come outside of the pocket and move, not being able to set his feet and deliver it downfield. That's the exact situation that this Carolina defense wanted to put the Bears in.
You know, it's always interesting, some of the stories you read about some of these young fellas, and we've heard a lot of negative about players around the NFL, but you know, K'Wan Short is in his second year out of Purdue, went to Central High School in East Chicago, Indiana, been ravaged by gangs and crime. He is now donating his foundation 10,000 books per year to the local school district and going back into those schools every day and telling these kids a book rather than a gun. You got a chance.
It's about talking about somebody who's making a difference in the world.
Went on to star at Purdue University. Did K'Wan Short. 3rd and 21. Cutler throws and nearly intercepted by Melvin White. Looked like it should have been intercepted by Melvin White.
Back to that one-on-one matchup. Santonio Holmes versus Melvin White. Gets his hands, gets him off him after 5 yards. Sits inside on that route. That close.
Well, this is it. 4th down and 21. The Panthers have 7 players. 15 yards off the line of scrimmage. Ball is loose. Panthers have recovered. And it's K'Wan Short who jarred it loose.
Well, you just mentioned his name on the play earlier before. They're going to run a stunt here. They're going to run a TE twist. They have a tough time passing it. Michael Ola, a new offensive tackle out there at the left side of the line with Matt Slauson. So you're going to see TE twist. Tackle and twist. They're not going to be able to punch and pass it off. They try to man it. Short's able to get upfield, rip through that edge, get that sack, force fumble.
There's nothing Cutler can do about that.
No.
Bears have turned it over 3 times in a row here on their last 3 possessions of this 4th quarter. Following the game, stay tuned for the State Farm post-game show.
As anybody in the NFL will tell you, it's the best formation in football, the victory formation.
Well, the Bears, they do have 1 timeout left, but they've elected apparently not to use it. This will be back-to-back losses for Chicago. They were humiliated in the second half last week against Green Bay. Speaking of humiliation, that was Carolina's story their last 2 games as they were just hammered in back-to-back games from teams out of the AFC North, the Steelers and the Ravens. But Ron Rivera spent 14 years as a player and or a coach for the Bears organization, and this his 3rd try as a head coach beats his former team. Final count of 31-24. Thanks for joining us. We're going to send you for bonus coverage to Philadelphia